Hi guys, this is Ambush and today we are going to see how you can achieve the perfect white balance for your video. So let's see the tools and techniques that we use to get the perfect white balance. So the first tool that we are going to discuss is expo disc. So what it does is basically it flattens the light source that you have. So it will give you a very flat source of light. So you can take a photo and get the perfect white balance out of it. So the way to use this is very simple and easy. So what you need to do is you need to be there from where you will be taking photos. For example, if I want to take photo from there, from where I'm recording right now, so what I need to do is just take the camera, put it in front of the camera, just take a photo. Like suppose if I will be taking photo from there, so what I need to do is hold it like this and just take a photo. That's it. And by taking that image, it will give me a very flat image using which I can get the perfect white balance within the camera itself, or at least we will have a reference point to get the perfect white balance. So these expo discs come in different sizes. Typically it comes around like 77 mm or 82 mm depending on the size of the filter of your lens basically, so it can fit over your lens of your camera. So the next equipment, or I won't say it's an equipment to get the perfectly white balance, as you might be familiar or you might have heard, is gray card. So this is the gray card basically. So this is 18% gray. I'll explain in another video what is 18% gray. This is a set of like 3 gray cards. One is absolute white, one is absolute black, and one is 18% gray. So while you are taking photo, similarly what we did with expo disc, so the way to use is it's similar to expo disc. Basically what you need to do is hold it in front of your subject, something like this, and just, for example, you just take a sample photo, test photo. So what you need to do in your post-production, what you need to do, you can take reference of this gray card or white or black, whichever is convenient for you or whichever is required for you to get the perfectly white balance. So typically we use it for video as well as photos. So the process is almost the similar throughout the equipment that we are going to show you right now. So this is a very user-friendly and cheap way to achieve the perfect white balance, but we have a better option than this. So let me show you that. So the next thing we are going to talk about is very easily available and it's quite cheap. That is this. It's a piece of white paper. That's about it. It's very simple, and obviously you will have something of this sort with you. So the way to use this is very simple and easy, and it's quite similar throughout expo disc and gray card. So what you need to do is just hold it and take a photo of this for reference and get the perfect white balance. If not, what you can do is you can just ask your subject to hold this and just target on this area and just manually adjust the white balance until you get the perfectly white color of this paper. So until and unless you are getting the perfectly white while taking video or photo, you have to like keep on like scrolling up and down. You have to adjust the temperature. So once you get the perfect white here, then you have the perfect white balance with you. So these are the 3 basic equipments that you can use to achieve perfect white balance, but there is another inexpensive, rather free method that you can use to get the perfect white balance. So let's see about it. And this method is my favorite method, and this is, I think it's the best way to get the perfect white balance, and that is to manually adjust your white balance. So what you need to do is you need to know about color temperature. For example, tungsten light. You might have tungsten light bulbs and everything. So they have a color temperature of around 2700 Kelvin. And the fluorescent light that you use, and right now we are using to shoot this whole video, it's around like 6700K. And while you're shooting in an ambient situation where there's a mix of tungsten and fluorescent, these equipments or these system might fail. So you have to depend on yourself, on your expertise, on your experience to get the perfect white balance, and it's very essential while you're shooting video. So what you need to do is obviously you can take help of these equipments that we have talked about. So let's see how we can achieve the perfect white balance. So in this video, as you can see, we are choosing auto white balance to get a rough estimate of what we are looking for. But one thing I would like to say is you cannot depend on auto white balance every time, because the temperature of light might change when you're shooting in ambient light setting, and different types of auto white balance. So you have to be very careful about it. And the second option that you have is there are many presets in your camera which you can use. One is fluorescent. There are multiple options depending on which camera that you are using. You can use them depending on the light source that is there while you're shooting, and it will give you a reference point. And the best method, as I mentioned, is manually adjusting the white balance. As you can see, we have to have that experience, and And if you know about color temperature, you can easily guess what is what, and you can find the perfectly white balance. It might require a little bit of tweaking, or it might take around like what 2-3 minutes, but I think it's worth it. But when you're doing or shooting outdoors, especially weddings or events, you have to be very careful about it, and everyone in your team has to have perfect white balance or the similar white balance, so the editor doesn't have a headache while editing the footage. If you found this video useful, please give this video a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. I'll see you guys soon.